guys, it's Casey. I'm here with my friend and coworker, Hilary Kennedy.
Hey, how's it going?
She is super successful and really accomplished, so I wanted to pick her brain on kind of how she's gotten to where she is now. So to start off, what would you classify yourself as? Like, what would be your job title you would describe yourself?
I've always thought of myself as a TV host because I've mainly worked in television in my career. But now with social media and with blogging and working as an influencer, it's almost just kind of like being a lifestyle expert because not all of it's on TV anymore. So
Right. That makes sense because you kind of do. She works here at the Blaze, does the 4-Minute Buzz, but she also does several other things. Like I know you were in an episode of Black Mirror recently, which I've never seen, but
Yeah.
I've heard.
Well, I started off as an actor, and that was really what I wanted to do. And in fact, I wanted to do soap operas because I thought that's a career where you really get to do a wide range of characters, and it's got longevity because some of the people that are on soaps have been doing it for 20 years, 30
Right.
years. And then soaps have they're still around. Shout out to Days of Our Lives. It's my favorite one. But reality TV kind of took over that space, and so it just changed a lot, and I thought, well, I don't want to do reality television. And I got offered a job working for the Dallas Stars hockey team as their entertainment host, and I thought, well, that's fun. And I was a big hockey fan anyway, so I thought, well, I'll do that for some extra money and see how it goes. And I loved it because I got to be me instead of playing a character, because quite frankly, I'm just not that good of an actor. So I do still do some acting once in a while. Like I love to do commercials, and I'll host infomercials and things like that. But I typically like to host things where I get to be myself.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
that was the first time you did hosting?
Yeah, very first time. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I loved hockey, so I would interview the players, and then I would also kind of facilitate all of the games that they do during intermission, because they do a lot of games on the ice, or they give away prizes to the fans. And so I did that, and I thought, this is really great because you get to be yourself, you get to entertain people, and you get to inform people, and you get paid to do it. So what's not to love about it?
Yeah. Have you always lived here in Dallas?
I've always lived here in Dallas. We would live in Colorado in the summertime, so I kind of got
Kind of the best of both worlds.
absolutely. So I got to spend all summer outdoors doing fly fishing and mountain climbing and whitewater rafting with no TV, no radio, no cell phone, no internet.
That's awesome.
All summer long, and then during the year we'd live here in Dallas.
That's really cool. So where did you go to school, and how did you major, like in film or acting?
I did. I started off majoring in theater first because I thought, I'm this serious actor or whatever. And then after a year of theater, I realized I'm not a theater actor. I want to work in television, and I'm not going to learn as much about TV being a theater major.
Right.
So I switched my major to television, film, and digital media. And that helped a ton because I learned all the positions behind the camera,
Right.
how to work as a producer, and then of course, how to work on camera. So it was hugely beneficial. So people do actually use their major if they major in film. So for all the mom and dads out there.
That's cool. That's what my brother's going to do, which is
Awesome.
good. I majored in history, and I do not use it. So that's really good that you learned that before you graduated.
But history does repeat itself, so you're prepared for
True.
anything.
I do. I know a lot of things about history. So that's good. So what was your first job?
My very first job ever, I worked as a waitress in Colorado for the summer at for Colorado, it's a small town, but it was kind of a fancy-ish restaurant. So we had to carry all the platters up high with all the food on
Lots
it.
of skills.
And you weren't allowed to write down what people's dinner orders were. You had to memorize them. So I think you could be 14 and legally work in Colorado, I think. So I was 14. And it was a really good learning experience because it definitely teaches you when you work in any sort of service industry how to treat people, and a lot of times if your food is late or something's running behind, it's not always the waiter or waitress's fault.
Right.
But it was a really good experience.
That's cool that you got to be a waiter at like 14.
Yeah, it was neat. I mean, it really taught me early on how to treat wait staff, how patient to be with food, how not to complain about everything or send everything back. But yeah, it was a really good experience in customer service for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I worked in retail when I was younger, and 2 different places, one of them being a children's store. And so a lot of very rushed moms and parents, whatever, for back to school, and you learn a lot about how to treat people in the same way.
Absolutely.
Because customers always right. So.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So doing the host as the Dallas Stars, how long did you do that, and what made you kind of transition to where you are now?
I did that for a season, and then I was offered a job doing a home show here in Dallas called Hot on Homes, and it's been on the air here for like 20 plus years. And it was a great job because I actually really like real estate. It's something that's always just interested me. I always love doing home tours and stuff like that. So I would go all over the city and talk about these new home communities and the features of these homes, and you got to see, you know, the insides of the homes, kind of like an interior design show / here are some great places to live in the area.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 years and loved it. So that was my first experience hosting an actual television show.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about homes.
You know,
Sunday mornings, it's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you were kind of doing the HGTV kind of thing that's really popular now, but not in the way that you were fixing them.
Yeah.
Just showing them.
Just showing them, just talking about them, and it's really neat because you learn so much about the home building process, and then you get inspired by seeing how other people decorate their homes or like the new home trends, and so I think shows like that they appeal to so many people. So even to this day, even though I haven't been on that show for a long time, I'll be out and people will go, "Hey, you're the Hot on Homes lady." And it always surprises me, the people who watched the show, because you would think maybe it would be more women, or it is across the board, every age, every demographic. So it was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool because I feel like Dallas, I mean, it's nowhere compared to New York, but in a way that New York has 3 different boroughs, I feel like Dallas has all these different areas that are so different from each other. And so I think it'd be really cool. I would assume you kind of got to see different areas in Dallas.
Absolutely.
And they're all so unique in their own way. And I love that about Dallas. So that's why I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome because there really are people who fit a certain vibe, live in certain parts of the city. And so yeah, you're totally right about that.
Well, cool. So what brought you here to the Blaze?
I started here at the Blaze as just doing some freelance work. There was a show that the company was putting together called For What It's Worth, and it was a bunch of like millennials talking about current issues and what their thoughts were. And I come from mainly an entertainment news background, so I didn't come from like hard-hitting politics or I worked on a morning show where we had breaking news, but I mainly covered all the entertainment, like what's going on with the Kardashians, or like Kendrick Lamar has done this, you know. So it was kind of fun being on that show because I got to give a perspective on issues that I normally don't talk about. And then they had an opening to host the morning news headlines, the 4-Minute Buzz, and so I had been working on this other morning show for 3.5 years, getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning for work. Wow. And I was ready for a break with the hours. Yeah, because I mean, I loved it. It was wonderful, but I was ready for something that was a little bit, just a little bit slower pace, and you know, I didn't have to get up at 2 a.m. So this was a great opportunity because I already knew I loved working here, and I loved all the people, and I was interested in being challenged to do topics that I hadn't been working on for the past couple of years.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's been great.
Well, thank you. I am in awe of your career and your personality and your spirit.
Oh, you're so
thank
nice.
you so much for sitting down with me and talking.
Absolutely. I will be paying you for those comments later.